Hello, artists. I am so excited for you to get going on your initial symmetrical radial design. That's a lot of vocabulary words in one. This is symmetrical because each little square is exactly the same. It's radial because the design rotates around a central point, and it has your initial. It could be your first, the letter for your first name, last name. It is totally up to you. And that is going to be the basis of your entire design. And you can add color with color pencils, crayons, markers, whatever you have on hand, whatever your preference is. So let's get going so you can start on your own amazing radial symmetry design. So the first thing you need is a square sheet of paper. I have a larger sheet of paper because when you start tracing your design, it helps to have a light color behind so you can see your design a little more easily. You can also hold your design up to a window with the paper folded so you can really easily see your design that way. So test out a couple different options, see what works best for you. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to take your sheet of paper, your square that is the base for your design, and you're going to fold it in half. You're then going to open it up and you're going to fold it in half again. And this is what's going to create your 4 quadrants that will be the basis of your design. So I'm going to grab a pencil, and for this one I'm going to do the letter K. All you need to do for this first step is to do a thin regular line, so just draw your letter as you normally would. All right, now to make it bigger, you are going to trace around that skinny line with a line on either side. Now, if you want your design to connect, so this was a C and I had my lines kind of connect, let your lines go off the edge of the paper towards the middle. And you can round your lines. So this is a very rounded, almost like a bubble letter, or you can square your lines off. I think for this one, I'm going to square it off just to do a little bit of a different style. Okay, so I'm going to have the bottom of my K hit the edge of the fold line. So we're just focusing on this first little square, and then we're going to trace the design to the rest of it. So taking a Sharpie or a thin felt tip marker, I'm going to use a thicker Sharpie for this one. You're going to trace your design. Just focusing on the letter for now. We're going to add more things to it next. Okay, that looks good. And then you can go ahead and go in and erase your pencil lines. Since you have that Sharpie line or whatever felt tip marker you use, that's all you need that for. All right, I'm going to bring my white sheet of paper back in, and I'm going to fold this in half again, but going the opposite way so that your design is on the back, and when you flip it over, you have blank sheet of paper on the front. Now, if I look really carefully, I can see my lines showing through. If you're having a hard time seeing your lines, because you want to make sure you can see them so your design is perfectly symmetrical, you can hold it up to the window and you might have an easier time seeing them. So when I open that up, look at that. My K's touch each other. They're creating a cool design there. Almost looks like an M in the middle. All right, so now I'm going to trace my design again on the bottom. So I'm going to fold my paper in half again with my K's on the outside, flip this over, and there they are. That looks so good. And if your lines don't touch, you can go in and just make sure they touch. That looks really cool. So now, again, you're just going to focus on one square at a time. You're going to go in and you're going to add patterns to your design. I'm going to start with pencil and I'm going to trace over it with Sharpie. So I think I might do some stripes in here. All right, so I'm going to fill this up with pencil and then I'm going to trace over it with Sharpie, and then I'm going to show you the next step. Let's see how quickly I can do this. Once you have your design drawn with pencil and traced in Sharpie in one square, just like with the K, you are going to fold your paper in half and trace that design into the 3 other squares on your paper. Again, if it's easier for you to see, you can hold your paper up to a window, or if you can see your lines easily on top of that white sheet of paper, lay it flat and trace over your lines. Just keep folding your paper, trace that design, and open it up to reveal the final radial symmetry design. Guys, look how wild and crazy my design looks. It's almost hard to find the K in all this chaos. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to color my design. I used markers on this one. I think I'm going to do color pencils this time. And I think I might play around with maybe a cool color letter and a warm color background so that it's not too chaotic. And as you work on adding color to your design, don't forget to keep the color the same in each square so that you end up with a perfectly symmetrical final design. All right, guys, check out how beautiful that turned out. I just love how lost the K gets in this design. You really have to look for it to find it. I think that looks really cool. What a cool radial design. All right, now it's your turn. I can't wait to see what you create.